episode of DRL is brought to you by Hella Cocktail Company. At this point in the quarantine, you've probably become a teacher, a chef, a housekeeper, a hairdresser, a barista, a trainer, and so much more. But when it's time to unwind from all that, Hella Cocktail Company can turn you into a bartender, a great one. Hella Cocktail Company features premium bitters and soda, and cocktail mixes. My favorite is the spicy margarita mix. I use it to make chili watermelon margaritas, and I just add tequila, some watermelon juice, and then a few dashes of the smoked chili bitters. It's so good. Hella Bitters and Soda is now available at Whole Foods, or you can use code DRL online at hellacocktail.co for free shipping. Hello, my lovely listeners. Welcome back to another episode of DRL, where we're talking everything dating, relationships, and love. I'm your host, Tanisha Wood. Today, I'm here with Dana from Texas. So how have you been?
I've been good. How have you been?
I'm good. How are you holding up in quarantine life?
Yeah, it's been a struggle, but I'm thankful that I'm able to work from home. I'm thankful that only thing that's really been interrupted is my social life. So I'm thankful.
I'm not going out till at least basically December is when I'll resume my normal activities.
Basically, I said 2020 is a wash. It's a wrap. All your trips are canceled. Just it is what it is. You know
exactly.
What's
your status right now?
I am single and dating.
Okay, how is it being single during the lockdown?
It sucks ass. It's horrible. One thing that did come out good, my mom was down here for a doctor's appointment. She was supposed to leave that Sunday, and Dallas County issued a stay-in-place order there Friday, so she's been here the whole time.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, it worked out pretty well.
How is dating going during quarantine? Like, are you still meeting people? Are you still talking to people? How is that going?
It's going. I was talking to someone like right before we went into quarantine, like 2 months before we went into quarantine, so I haven't seen him though because my mom has underlying issues. So I don't want to like be out.
Do you feel like the relationship is still progressing even though you guys aren't able to physically see each other? Like, do you still feel like it's going at a good pace where you would want it to be?
It's not going the pace that I would want it to be just because we're not seeing each other. I think, interaction, personal interaction is important. So I've interacted with him, of course, before the quarantine, but maybe 3 dates. So no, I don't really know him like that.
But do you feel like you're getting to know him maybe better because all you guys can do is talk, and therefore not much else is getting in the way of that?
We're talking more. Long conversations. We'll be on video chat for 2 hours. I would never do that. I wasn't in quarantine.
So what do you like about this guy? How'd y'all meet? Tell me more.
We met on Tinder.
Okay.
And he's cool. He's a nice young man. He is furloughed, so he's not actually working right now. So he went back home to Michigan. So
do you feel like this could potentially lead to a relationship, or where are you guys at?
I think it's too soon for me to say. I like his personality. It's too soon for me to say. He has a lot going on. It's a lot going on to furlough. I mean, when it's a quarantine, I want to make any rash decisions, out of loneliness. So
but it's been, what did you say, 2 months or 3?
It was 2. How long have we been? We were dating 2 months prior to going into quarantine, which is not a lot of time.
I think 2 months is a good amount of time to know whether you want it to lead to the next stage.
Okay. Maybe that's my problem. But yeah, no, I can't. And I think it's because he's not really stable right now. So that, even though that shouldn't matter, it kind of does. So I kind of don't want to put,
You're like, I'm not getting in a relationship with you with no job.
No, absolutely not. So I want him to figure it out,
This economy might be bad for a while, girl.
He's going to have to figure it out.
When was your last relationship?
It's been 2 years since I've been in a serious relationship.
Has that been on purpose?
Yeah, I've dated, but no one seriously. Would I've liked to met someone that I really liked? I probably would have, definitely by year 1.5.
What happened in your last relationship?
With different priorities. So by that, I mean, I don't think he was ambitious enough. In his mind, he was super successful. In my mind, I was like, and like he repeated things like over and over. Like I think it was self esteem issues. For example, he would repeat, I've been a CFO twice before the age of 40, right? He'll say that and he says it over and over. And I'm like, I know you've told me 20 million times. Why do you keep saying that? So that, and I don't think he was very truthful. He had problems with telling like white lies.
About his career or what he was doing?
Just about like what he was doing. Yeah, where his career was involved. Yeah.
So it sort of sounds like you guys weren't necessarily equally yoked on a career front. Is that
We
something?
weren't. We weren't. Or the being truthful front. Like shit, like I hate someone lying to me. I don't know, like pretending to be something you're not. Even if that's your aspiration, that's cool, that's fine. But like you have to be realistic and with yourself and with others. Shit, you
Do you
know.
do you think that people do have to be equally yoked in that way for it to actually work?
I don't know necessarily career, but you have to have the same like vision, right? Overall, like if you're dating, you have to have the same career, family. Like, what are we going to look like? 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road. Like, can I visualize it, right? And if that is not on track, which career does impact that, then yeah, you have to be.
What was his vision versus yours?
I think I have a decent, have decent income and I take care of myself very well. I'm able to do what I want to do. You know what I'm saying? I just don't want anything to depend necessarily on my income. Like, just like if I lose my job, if I quit my job, shit is going to hell in a handbag. That's not the way I want to live my life.
So you
It's
didn't really feel stable with him is
no.
what it sounds like. It's like you
Mm-mm.
could take care of yourself because you've been doing that, but I need somebody who is also doing that to be able to pick up the slack if one
Yes.
falls
Yes.
either
I
way.
just don't want shit to go to, just go bad if because I can still maintain the things that I'm paying for. I just want to make sure that nothing is dependent upon me working.
So this is why you sort of are not making any decisions with the current guy because this is like a fear of yours in a way.
It probably, yeah, that
Right. So
makes a
you
lot of
heard
sense.
you heard
Yeah.
furloughed and you were like, let's keep talking, but we'll wait.
We're getting to know each other, we're still in the get to know each other phase. So, and I think he's dating. I'm not really, I mean, you're in a quarantine, but I'm sure he's talking to other people on the phone. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure and I'm okay with that.
Have you guys had that conversation?
No,
How come?
no. I just think it's not the right time, He's trying to figure out his job situation. You don't want to have the conversation about like expectations because it doesn't even matter because we're on quarantine.
But are
So
you curious? Like, not so much because you want to lock him into any sort of decision or any expectations around what this should be, but aren't you just like curious? Like, once you are talking to somebody for a while, like, are you seeing anybody else? Are you just out of curiosity, not because your expectations are that it would be exclusive at this point?
perhaps if we weren't, on lockdown or whatever, and we were seeing each other on a regular, I would be curious. So I would never ask that question. I go by his actions. So if he's acting like he wants, me to be something more than just dating, then he'll behave in that manner. Like I'm not the kind of girl that every person I date I fall in love with. Like no, like especially when I was a lot younger. Like if we had a good time and I could know that I would never marry you, but I would date you for a good 6 months to a year because you are a great time and I enjoy your company.
I'm the same way. Like,
Yeah.
I never really was like, I'm going to marry this guy. I was like, nah, I know exactly the place you have in my life, and we're cool with that.
And we're cool with that. And we're going to roll with that. So,
Ultimately, what are you looking for?
I want to get married. I want to, a partnership, my lifetime partner. I'm ready to do all that mushy stuff. Shit, I've been ready to do that. I just haven't found anybody.
So you had said that when you were younger, you would date people even if you didn't believe that they were going to be the one or there was long-term potential there. Is that still something you do, or at this point like, we don't date unless I think it could be something?
So I'd like to think it's the latter, but that's what I'm working towards. But if I'm not dating anybody else and this person comes along and he's a good time for now and I enjoy his company and he has like a lot of perks that come with him, then absolutely. I did it not too long ago, so I cannot lie to myself and say I went say I went to it.
So with that person that you're talking about that you previously dated where you knew there wasn't long-term potential, why date them?
Because he loved to go shopping and he was extremely like funny and generous. He was really old.
How old?
Well, I didn't know how old at first. So let me back it up. I didn't know. I knew age range, and he also lives in my friend's community, like little gated community. So let me give you the history. How I met this guy. Well, he's actually turned out to be 72 years old, but he doesn't look 72. But anyways, how I met this guy is that he's black.
Okay, so black don't crack. How old did he look?
He looked 68. He looked every bit of 60. He looked every bit of 68. Every bit of it.
So 68 ain't that different than 72.
That's what I'm saying. He looked old, but I didn't think he was that old. Because my mom is like 68. You know what I'm saying? So definitely, did he look my mom's age? He probably looked a little older. I mean, I digress. So he lived in my friend's neighborhood, and he's the first house when you come into the gate. Mm-hmm. Huge home. So the word on the street was it was a basketball player, a football player who bought this home. There was no pictures of the home inside the home online because it had never been for sale. He built this home. I knew the house. Randomly, I went to meet a girlfriend at Papado's bar, and this guy sat next to us, and he was like, "Are you guys single?" And she's married.
Wait,
and
he straight up just asked.
Yes, this is not the guy though. This is like it's someone who knew the guy.
Okay,
right?
Gotcha.
Okay, and so I was like, "I'm single," she's married, whatever. And so the guy was like, "You're single?" And I was like, "Yeah." He said, I know someone who would absolutely love you." And I'm like, "Well, shit, who?" Who?
Tell me more.
Tell me more. And so he was like, "Yeah, he's having a Super Bowl party." He was like, "Have you ever heard of Shenandoah Estates?" And I was like, "My best friend lives there." I'm like, "Yeah, I've heard of it. One of my really good girls, lives there. No biggie." He said, "Well, do you know that first house when you first pull in to the right?" I'm like, "Oh shit!" I was like, "Yeah,
I know that house."
I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "Well, that's his house. That's where the party is." I was like, "Say less. What time I need to be there?"
Wait, so was he there, the guy that he was talking about, or he was just?
No, he wasn't there.
Okay.
He wasn't there. So I'm like, "Oh shit, okay." So I go.
Is this like his recruiter? Like,
no, so the guy name is let's call him GB. He said it's the first time the guy had ever done that to him before. He's like, he was so surprised that the guy called him up and was like, "Hey, are you single?" And he was like, "Yeah, I'm single." And he was like, "Well, this is a young lady I met. I wanted to think you'll like her."
GB is the guy who owns the house or the guy at the bar?
Okay. Who owns the house.
Got it.
And so the guy called him up and GB was like, "Yeah, sure, bring her and tell her she can come. Tell her bring friends. It's all good." So anyways, he's like, "Got somebody better love you." I call my girlfriend who lives in the neighborhood. I'm like, "Bitch, guess what? I'm about to, bitch." So she was like, "Ooh, okay, cool." So I get there. I'm by myself because my one girlfriend is being flaky. So I'm there by myself. They give me.
Why did you go by yourself?
Well, I was supposed to go with
he was the killer.
Well, it was a party. He wasn't going to kill me in front of everybody.
Oh, okay.
And I was willing to take a chance. And all I had to do was make it around the corner to my girlfriend's fucking house, and I would have been safe. So get there. He gives me a tour. This house is like banging. It's like 12,000 square feet. Huge infinity pool. He owns his lot, which is, I don't know how big, probably an acre. And then the acre behind him, the infinity pool, he has a fucking hot tub. He got a theater room. It's ridiculous. His master bedroom suite. I was just like, oh, it was just amazing. Anywho, come to find out he's 72, never been married, no kids. I was like, that there's a dead cat somewhere on that line. That just doesn't sound right, whatever. But I didn't care. I was like, it doesn't really matter. So he asked me out. It was like breakfast. It was early as shit.
Meet me at 6 a.m.
I know, right? I was like, dude, I think I had to meet him like 10:30 for brunch. I said, brunch don't start till 11:30. Like, what are you talking about? Oh my God. So I met him. And we just chopped it up, and he was like, yeah, we should hang out, I had told him the reason I couldn't come to 11:30 is because I had a class at the gym. So he thought that I had been working out. Really, I just slept in.
Really, I'm just waking at my normal weekend time.
Yeah. So he was like, I love to shop. He was like, and do you have time to walk down the street? There was a Lululemon on the corner. And I was like, sure. I'll walk down the street. And he was like, well, I know you like to work out. He's like, so I just want you to get like whatever out of here that like you want. And I was like, I was like, okay. And so I got a pair of pants, a sports bra, and a top. And he was like, that's all. I was like, okay, say no more. Like,
say less.
Run it. Say less. Run it. So I have like my favorite sports bras ever. Lululemon. The bras are damn near like what, $150 almost. They're a lot. $200.
I don't know. I don't buy bras from Lululemon because they're however much you said they are.
It's the best. I want to say I don't know. It was between like $150 and $200. It's the best freaking bra like ever. And I have big boobs, so like they don't move. They don't lock down, and it's so comfortable. Like it's the best bra. Like it's totally worth its money. I'll never buy one again for myself, but it was totally worth it. So he got me a couple of little, trinkets.
What was the total?
Like $775 or some shit. It was
wow.
Yeah.
And this was just a first date. Let's meet for brunch, and boom. Okay. And then what happened?
At that point, when I made my mind, I could. Like, I'm going to date him for as long as, if he asks me to marry him, I'm fucking going to marry him because he's a fucking bomb ass house. Like, this could be my husband. I don't give a fuck what no one says. Like, this could be it. And so after that, we hung out a lot. We go shopping, girl. We go to like places to look for like throw pillows. This man spent like $400 for a throw pillow. Each one was $400, and he got like 6 of them hoes. I was like, what is
So he spent $2,400 on throw pillows?
Throw pillows. Yes. And so at first I was like, maybe he's just like, and for 72 could dress his ass. I was like, oh, I'm not teaching him how to dress, girl. He could dress from head to toe. He could give any young dude a run for their money. Any. And like, I was like, okay, all right. And so I liked that, I liked that. And he was funny, and I liked that. And he was generous, and I liked that. I was like, you know what? If this man asked me to marry him tomorrow, I would say yes. I would definitely say yes. But yeah, he was not looking to get married anytime. His family ended up hating me. Like hating me.
Wait, so you met the family and everything?
Oh, check it. I'm hell yeah. So he hosted a dinner just for me to meet the family. And so boom, there's a guy, I went to Howard. And so one of his nephews, quote unquote nephews, went to Howard as well. So he was there. It was cool until it wasn't. And then I think
what happened? Like what was cool, and then how did it get uncool?
So they had the little dinner, I met his family there. Everybody was cool. The next time I saw the family was at a graduation party. And
the dinner, were they like, she's several decades your junior? Like no one was judging that fact?
No one said anything. No one said anything. It was all good. They were like really nice to me. They fed me well. Like I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna love these people. Right? This is my new fucking family.
I like this house. I like this family. Let's go.
Let's go. I just love everybody, right? And so he and I hung out literally probably almost every weekend, every other weekend. It was, we just did.
What did you have in common?
He was funny. We go to his house. He has a pool. I like his pool. And he liked like ratchet music. Like he knew all the ratchet songs, like all the Mega Stallion, Cardi B. Like it was a good fucking time.
Okay, but if you met somebody your age, you wouldn't be like, yeah, it was great because we like the same music. Like that wouldn't have been a selling point. You wouldn't even have brought that up.
Okay.
So what was so special? Like, what did you guys talk about? Like,
we just talked about everything. We talked about like, investments. We talked about, but like on this like regular talk, we went decorated together. What do you think is gonna look good here? We talked about like exes in the past, why he felt like he had never been married before, which I think was a total crock of shit.
Why had he never been married before?
He was an executive, like an SVP for like some telecom, AT&T, Sprint shit. I don't fucking know. One of them. He was a big to-do. Very smart man. Oh my God, this man is smart. So he worked for them for years, lived in Europe for like 6 years, and he traveled a lot, right? Because when you climb in the corporate ladder, especially to get to SVP, you have to be able to travel. He's like, yeah, I travel a lot, and I was like, it's a thing of taking your family with you. Like, if this is a thing, right? So every excuse he came up with wasn't a good excuse, if in my opinion. I traveled so much, and I'm okay, all right. So I saw him at another family event at his home, and they were having a Memorial Day party, and I wasn't going to be able to make it. So I was going to be out of town. And my homegirl was with me. Actually, Susan was with me. And they were like, he was telling Susan, like, hey, if you're single friends, y'all come through. It's going to be like single people here, judges. And so I guess he called his nephew over to say, hey, like, you're having your friends over. Some of them are going to be single. And he asked him something about that, and then the nephew was like, well, are you single? To him, to the guy that I was dating. He was like, no. And so that kind of made me feel a little uncomfortable. And that's kind of when I was like, oh, shit is about to get a little, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I was more observant. And the next time I saw him, one of the wives whose home I'd been to, that's the home I'd been to, she came up to me at a party, and GB was like, hey, you remember Dana? And she was like, oh, nice to meet you.
We've met before.
I've been to your house. And then her husband walks up and gives me a hug. He's like, hey, good to see you. And I look back to her. I was like, oh, nice to meet you too. And just like, so things got and I told him, but things got a little weird, and yeah.
This is slightly explicit, but I just have to know, having never dated anybody more than 5 years, my senior, how was the sex?
So believe it or not, he and I never had sex, which is a whole nother story. Never had any type of, like, all we did was kiss. Like, we never had any oral, any nothing. It was none of that.
Did you think that was weird, that after a certain amount of time it wasn't taken to another level?
I did, but at the time, I know in my mind, I'm like, I'm not going to, necessarily marry him. I mean, what can I do? I mean, he's 70, he's 72. It may don't work anymore. Like, I don't fucking know. But I was like, at least I would think an older man would like try to do oral, like, because if that doesn't, just something, if you just like vagina, so no, we never got there.
Did you ever ask him? Like,
I brought it up once. I spent the night twice. I don't know how I brought it up. We were on the phone, and he was like, well, you didn't say anything. I was like, dude, like, it's your house. It's like, it was some lame ass excuse. And I was like, okay, it is what it is. We're probably never going to have sex, but I'm going to ride this gravy train to the end. And so that's kind of what I did. I just rode it to the end.
He sounded like a fun old man.
He was so much fun. He dressed so nice. His house was so dope. Like, I just would envision myself living there.
But would you have actually married him?
In a fucking heartbeat. In a heartbeat, I would have married him.
But, like, do you think that there was enough there to sustain? So, in not ever having sex with this man, would you have married him?
Yes. If he necessarily didn't mind me, having sex. No, I'm joking.
If he was open for me to have the things he couldn't provide.
I know, right? we had to figure that part out. But other than that part, yeah, I liked him. So even without having sex, we hung out for like 8 months, 9 months. And I liked him. Like, he was a fun person.
Did you tell your mother about him and the fact that he was older?
Yes.
What did she say?
She didn't say nothing. She was just like, I was like, I should introduce you to him. I was like, but I was like, he's never even lived with a woman. Like that, it was a whole bunch of weird shit. It was a whole bunch of shit that I just didn't embark on. And I was just like, okay. I was like,
you've never dig into it?
I said, you've never, at this point, I accepted it for what it was. I was like, you've never lived with a woman. And he was like, no. He said, my mom always said that if you don't think enough to marry her, you shouldn't shack up with her. I said, yeah, but your mom, God rest her soul, has been gone. Been long gone. And this is what, people do. Like, it's okay to shack. Like, it's not 1920. So, yeah.
Plus, I don't think you know somebody until you live with them.
I don't think you
I
know
would
somebody till you live
never
with them.
marry somebody I didn't live with.
Neither would
Never.
I. In a million years.
No.
Never.
Absolutely not.
I would have to definitely live with them first. Definitely. To see even if I could.
Right. So how did that end?
I kind of could tell it was ending. And so I had asked him for something I knew he probably wasn't going to deliver on. And
What
that
did
was
you ask him for? Can I get that house on the other block?
You know, it was. I knew he wasn't going to deliver on this, so I knew that.
What was it? Now
I asked him for a new SUV. So.
And what did he say?
He was just like, yeah, we can, yeah, we can go look at it. We'll see. Let's talk about it. And kind of.
I mean, if you spend $2,000 on throw pillows,
I didn't think it was an unreasonable ask.
And $750 on Lululemon just cause. I mean,
what's a Range Rover? That's nothing to you. You got that. So yeah. So after, we just kind of didn't talk after that. But it was already kind of getting a little bit weird. So
you were like, I mean, I might as well drive off in an SUV.
I might as well see what it is, hey. And so after we ended, I went to a Super Bowl party this year too. So he invited me. We weren't talking when he invited me to a Super Bowl party this year. So
was there somebody else?
Him?
Yeah, like was he dating? Was there somebody he was dating at the Super Bowl party?
No, not that I'm aware of. Because I was making a whole big to-do, making his family think that we were still together. Because they saw me, they were so fucking mean, girl. They were mean to me. The kids, everybody was mean.
At the Super Bowl party?
At the Super Bowl party this year, everybody was mean. The kids from home from college. I was like, what is this?
Don't you guys remember me?
I know.
Do you remember that episode of Sex and the City? It was either Miranda or Carrie that went on a date with this guy, and his friends were all like really nice to her, and like it was all great. And then one of the friends said something like, oh, like basically like we do this every weekend with a new girl. And then they showed like the flashback of like all these women that have been there. And they're playing the same games and they all have the same like one-liners and like.
That's funny.
So it's like maybe it was just like, yeah, we've been here. Okay, you don't matter anymore. Whatever.
Yeah. He doesn't have any kids, never been married. So when he dies, to me, I felt like they wanted like to make sure no woman came in between what they may inherit. And I was like, you best believe I was the wrong bitch for him to marry because I am the wife. No.
This is my inheritance.
This is my inheritance. This is my house. I would like if you guys would call now before you come.
New rules.
New rules. Yeah.
So Dana, you seem to have a really good ability to enjoy things in the moment for what they are without clinging to any expectations or what it could be. And a lot of women don't, right? A lot of women, I think particularly around this age, like 30s, 40s, are very much like, okay, I'm dating to meet somebody that I want to be with forever. And if that's not the case, I'm moving on.
That is true. That is true. And I am doing that. But GB came along at a time where I wasn't seeing anybody seriously. So I'm not going to look a gift horse in its mouth and just fucking walk away. You know what I'm saying? So that is definitely I'm dating with purpose, all that, especially at my age. But it was just like a gift. It was just like right there. So
I think it's actually a good quality. Like, I'm not saying that you're not focused on what your end goal is or what your mission is or what you want, but I do think that it's important to still be able to have fun in the process and not necessarily always be so rigid in terms of like, well, he's not a good fit for me, so whatever, goodbye. Like you are having fun with the process of it. So how are you able to do that?
I guess because I don't meet a lot of people that I connect with like that. It's very few and far between that I meet a guy and I have that little butterfly feeling in my stomach or whatever. So it's kind of what it is until it's not. I forced situations that I should have never forced just because I was like, okay, I'm dating with purpose. I want to do it. We're doing it. And it did not work out. So if I meet somebody and we're not on the same page, it's fine. As soon as I find out we're not on the same page, it's not something I'm willing to compromise about. Now, would I stop dating that person? Maybe, maybe not. But then my focus is like elsewhere. Like I know that we or only be just dating. Like I don't want to make a committed situation out of this. But I'm enjoying him while he was here. And it's about living in the moment, I guess. I can always tell when a man is dating. Like I know when I'm dating for purpose, I can tell when a man is also dating for purpose. So if that's not like what I'm getting out of his vibe, then it's kind of okay, next. I ask the questions, but I also more so look at actions and how a person acts and how, what they're doing. How is that matching up with what they say they want?
What do you feel like your biggest lesson in dating has been thus far?
I have to really focus on the 80-20 rule. Some of my things that were my non-negotiables, turns out they're not. You know what I'm saying?
Like what?
Like him necessarily wanting kids. Like at first that was a non-negotiable. That's not necessarily a non-negotiable now. Yeah, while I would like that, and I would want someone that would want to make me happy if that was a possibility. That's no longer a non-negotiable.
What are some of your other negotiables that have changed?
Being Black. He doesn't have to necessarily be African American or African descent. Yeah. Is that my preference? And for a long time it was, but like I met some pretty cool older white dudes that I was like, yo, one I really liked. I met him on Bumble. Older cat, I liked him. I don't know really what happened. I guess he didn't really like me that much, but I liked him. I was like, oh baby, yes.
Is it different dating white men versus Black men? Like you've dated Black men most of your life. Is it a transition or is it just like a man is a man?
It's different. It's different. He was this white guy I'm talking about in particular was the first one I've been comfortable with. I've gone on dates with white men because white men approach me. I go on dates to dinner. We'll have drinks, or if I'm at the bar, like at a nice restaurant, they come up. We chop it up. So I've hung out with white men, like older white men before, not a problem. But hanging out a lot with older white person in general, and a man specifically, it's different. I have to, level down my ratchet a little bit, which is fine.
Do you feel like you're at work then? You know what I mean? Like,
so
do you feel not yourself in a way if you're adjusting things about yourself?
See, I kind of, sort of, but not really, because he was really funny, right? And I love somebody. I like to make people laugh. I love to laugh, so we can vibe. And he was very sarcastic and just he was liberal, of course. It was just a different kind of like Seinfeld's a different kind of funny. So it was just a different kind of funny. I wasn't uncomfortable. Put it to you that way. Was it the most comfortable situation? And I think it was more so when we were around his friends, where I wasn't the most comfortable, but around him I was comfortable. I would have married that white man too.
What was it like around his friends?
It was different because when you're dealing with white people, you have people that are on both sides of the aisle, clearly, politically speaking. So I don't talk politics with a Trump supporter. I'd rather talk about something else. I'm not going to do it. And so he had one of his really good friends. He was not, but he had a really good friend that was a Trump supporter that brought up Trump all the fucking time. And then the last time I was like, yo, you're going to have to tell him. I was like, because I'm going to get ugly. The very next time he brings some Trump shit up, like I'm going to let his ugly ass have it. And his wife as well, if she wants some of this smoke. So that, dealing with like friends, and I had not met his family. So he had two kids, but yeah.
So why did it change for you, previously having dated Black men exclusively and now becoming more open to white men and other races?
Well, because I was meeting just as many white men as I was Black men, and Black men do it all the time, right? It's not like something that's new. And I was having conversations and good, like, good phone conversations, good conversations, on dates or at the bar or whatever. And I was like, so why not? Why am I not doing that? And I was like, okay, you're not doing it because he's white. Okay, you got to get over that because he's a cool dude. At least you can see if he's cool or not.
I mean, I like how open you are. I mean, I think we should be willing to try something new. So what is next for you, Dana?
I'm just getting out of this lockdown alive, and I give myself, let's say, post-quarantine. I was like, I want to know who I'm going to be with in 6 months. That was my prayer. Like, I want not necessarily be with that person, but know who that person is, right? And I do want to get out of the rat race of dating. But while I'm here, it will be fun.
Well, thank you for coming on today, Dana, and sharing your words of wisdom and your hilarious stories.
Well, thanks for having me.
Where can people reach out to you?
Oh, my Instagram is Dana. What is my Instagram? It's Dana, Dana, Said, SAID_what.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you again, Dana. And you guys, please reach out to me at Tanisha Wood on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, and let me know what you think of today's show. And until next time, wish me love. Hello again, my lovely listeners. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode of DRL. If you like the show, be sure to go on iTunes and leave a rating and also write a review. And don't forget to share with your friends and tell them all about DRL. Thank you so much for supporting.